So Michaela was in fact murdered, right? And then they ended up charging an individual. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined and make them into one. And I'm a Discovery influencer. Yes, but December 2020, 59-year-old David Mish was charged with Michaela's death. A palm print at the scene of the kidnapping was the palm print of the male that I just named, the individual that I just named. The paw print was on the scooter because she was kidnapped, but before she was, there was a scooter involved, right? I don't know if any of you have heard about Michaela being missing when she was, right? December 20. The years go by so fast because it's 2021 right now, right? But Michaela, she was abducted at the age of 9 years old by an unidentified male who has been identified back in 2020, right? The kidnapping took place in a parking lot of Rainbow Market, yes, in Hayward, California on November 19th, 1988. She was missing for a very, very long time. To go missing 1988, that's to still keep the case fresh, right? But that's a very long time. To even go back in mind and think of the 90s is to say, well, wow, where was I at in 1993, 1994? Where was I at where were I? In 2001. Where were, like, any of us, like, right? So during the time of Michaela being abducted, she was trying to get a scooter which belonged to her friend, which the abductor placed near his vehicle while the girls were in the market. That scooter and them palm prints back in 1988 is to say how were human beings thinking back then. Some people were thinking back in 1998 or 1988, not 1998, I'm sorry, 1988, some people were thinking just as evolved back in 88 just as much as today, right? I say that because when it comes to, say, a criminal abducting a child or something like that, what was his level of thinking and advancement pertaining to, okay, it's 1988, I'm going to abduct a child, right? A scooter is going to be involved in that as well as my vehicle, right? But when it comes to my palm prints are going to be found on the vehicle, or not on the vehicle, on the child, not on my child. I'm talking ahead of myself because I'm trying to hurry up and get there, right? But the level of thinking, how was he thinking in 88 to kidnap her? What was in his mind to kidnap her? As in, how did he figure out how to kidnap her before? Or was it just a random kidnapping, right? And did he think that from 88 up until 2020, right, that he was going to be found out pertaining to his palm print? That's what I'm trying to say. Because, let's go back. Okay, she was trying to get the scooter, which belonged to her friend, which the abductor, he placed near his vehicle while the girls were in the market. Then he grabbed her. Because to place, the reason why I brought that up pertaining to technology, whether you're going to be found out with you kidnapping children, right? The reason why I said his level of thinking is, did he or did he not think it out? Because your palm print is on the scooter. So back in 1988, as I say, what was his level again thinking? You just placed you're touching on a scooter, right? And it is strange that it took that long for law enforcement to find out. December 2020. because that's a basic putting your hands on a child's scooter, right? Our level of technology is advanced enough to have been able to say jail him before. That's what I'm trying to understand and get. Technology, even in the 90s, was just as advanced enough to get this man, right? Uh, Technology was advanced enough to possibly get him in 2001, 2010. That's where I'm trying to understand what was it. Maybe law enforcement had an issue properly identifying him and then completely identify him with the palm print, because it's not like when somebody has their palm print on something, on a scooter, on a vehicle or something, right? And then, well, not even that. Let me use another example. If his print wasn't identified anywhere, that's where the issue would stand, right? But that's strange to me that it took that long. That the palm print getting him jailed and charged, right? From 88 up until 2020, right? Because see, if no palm print would have been there, then yeah, he would have been charged, or he wouldn't have been charged any sooner. He wouldn't have been found out pertaining to, yeah, who kidnapped this young child, right? Because to not have any DNA, to not have any evidence of any kind is how people just, yeah, kidnap children, and that's the end of that, right? So maybe law enforcement might need to up their game, yeah, or some artificial intelligence even more with that, because that's an issue. That's 88 up until 2020 is too long. It just is. Because yeah, sometimes when prints identifying, right, who has kidnapped who, right, sometimes there is issues with that. The reading and trying to piece things to see, well, certain things brushed and all the rest, right? Old school method, new school method, technology, computerization, and all that coming through, right? Some law enforcement, when it comes to that, right, you got forensic science and all the rest, right? It has been issues with identifying, yes. So I can see somewhat of that there. I can a bit. But to know, because it seems like a palm print will be big enough. We're not talking about fingers, right? I can see, and not only that, I can see if the scooter was found years later, right? And there's fingerprints, more smaller prints. Then it will be much harder for law enforcement, right? To see who actually kidnapped her. Just would. If you were to find a scooter after the year of 88 and then say a thumb mark is on there or a pinky mark is on there, and that's all that is on there, right? That will be much more harder to identify versus a palm, I'm thinking. It just seems like if a scooter is sitting somewhere, say he kidnaps her, right? He takes the scooter and he drops it off somewhere, right? Out where you can't find it or something, or out at a park area, right? And then it takes police or just law enforcement as a whole to find a scooter months or years later. Then I can see pertaining to the print, as in trying to identify the actual print on the scooter. That I can see where it will pose an issue, where it will take years to find out who needs to be charged, right? But yeah, it just seems like a palm print would have been big enough, and more so, more valid, identifying him, because the palm print in relation to the year of when the scooter, if you find a scooter the same year in the same location where a child has been kidnapped, then it's quicker to charge people, I'm thinking. He should have, even in 2015 or so. What year is this? 2021, 2015 or something. He should have been charged. Even, yeah. So, because the more advanced our technology go, when I say that, I always think of where items used to artificial intelligence just scanning things, how we scan stuff in the store, how and two, how they said we were going to be walking around with barcodes, not that sort of thing, or not the internal body chip, no, just the scanning of items, such as when a child is kidnapped and you're scanning whatever the item, if the abductor place his hands on a scooter, what can be used to scan that to see, or anything of a missing child, right? That the scooter belonged to her friend, but still she had her hands on it or around it, right? What else can be used to scan for missing children, the way we scan stuff and scan barcodes in stores to help find missing children? Well, yes. What can you scan that will be able to pick up a kidnapper or something like that, identify him in the same type of way? I can sense that's going to be the future. It should be. So we're on investigationdiscovery.com. The ID logo stands in the far left corner. Live now, Valley of the Dam. New episodes. To gain access is to provide who you're subscribed to. You'd in fact gain access with that. That's why this is locked down. On the Case with Paula, season 22, episode 2. Unlocked episodes. To receive an audio visual preview is a click the play button. You would in fact receive that. ID Go original series. Recommended for you. Shouts out to Lieutenant Joe Kenda as well as Paula. And to receive a newsletter from Investigation Discovery is to type your email address in and click next. And dear viewers, let me know what you think and feel about the video. May you enjoy your day. I will in fact enjoy mine. And I'm gone for now.